Hello and welcome. My name is Rebecca Smith, and I will be presenting information on recognizing and understanding human labor and sex trafficking. Throughout this presentation, I will be discussing what sex and labor trafficking is, why some people are more susceptible, who the victims can be and who the traffickers may be, signs of trafficking so that you can be aware of what to look out for, what to do if you suspect labor or sex trafficking is taking place, and then followed up with some resources and phone numbers. With an estimated 24.9 million victims worldwide at any time, human traffickers prey on adults and children of all ages, backgrounds, and nationalities, exploiting them for their own profit. San Diego District Attorney Summer Stephan reported that sex trafficking is a lucrative industry that generates over $810 million a year for criminals in San Diego County. Traffickers treat children like property that are sold like a piece of pizza to criminal buyers. Human trafficking is the world's fastest growing criminal enterprise and is an estimated $150 billion a year global industry. 2 million children globally and at least 100,000 in the United States are commercially sexually exploited every year. The average age of sex trafficking victims is between 11 and 14 years old. California also has a particularly high human trafficking rates compared to the rest of the nation. So, what has California been doing about this at the state and federal level? Well, in 2017, Assembly Bill 1227 was passed that requires California public schools to offer education and training on human trafficking identification and prevention in order to avert children from being exploited for labor or sex. This training is intended to be offered in both middle school and in high school. So, Helix as a Project Safe School. We were approached in 2021 by the San Diego County Office of Education regarding a federal grant that they had partnered with through the FBI in order to offer this education to middle and high schoolers in an effort to help train schools to be educated and prepared to respond to suspected instances of humor and labor trafficking. Currently, Helix Charter High School can call itself a Project Safe School. All of our staff here on campus have taken and completed the staff training on awareness and response to human trafficking. And last fall, our freshman class received in-class presentations delivered by student support. We thought this information was so important that we are now sharing a condensed version to the entire student body. In addition, we are also coordinating and in communication with the San Diego County Office of Education in reporting and response of all suspected child labor and sex trafficking cases. Okay, so human trafficking defined. So labor trafficking is when individuals perform labor services through force, fraud, or coercion. It happens right in front of us in restaurants, nail and massage salons, agriculture, in-home domestic services, and many other jobs. Sex trafficking is when someone uses force, fraud, or coercion to cause a commercial sex act, prostitution, pornography, or sexual performance. And it is all around us. So, how does it begin? So, people in sex trafficking situations almost always know and even love or trust their traffickers. Traffickers target vulnerable people who have needs that the traffickers can fill. Sometimes they offer material support, a place to live, clothing, a chance to get rich quick. Other times they offer love, emotional support, or a sense of belonging. Kidnapping victims and forcing them into the sex trade through violence is rare. So, who are the traffickers and how do they recruit? Traffickers come from all genders, races, ethnicities, and walks of life. In sex trafficking situations, they may be intimate partners or spouses of the victims, family members, friends, benefactors, business acquaintances, and bosses. Anyone can be trafficked, but some people are far more vulnerable than others because they have greater needs. These include people living in poverty or in unstable housing situations, as well as people with a history of trauma or addiction. Because of current and historic discrimination and inequity, people of color, immigrants, and people who identify as LGBTQ+ are more likely to be exploited for these vulnerabilities and face trafficking. Trafficking victims are deceived by false promises of love, a good job, or a stable life, and are lured or forced into situations where they are made to work under deplorable conditions with little to no pay. In the United States, trafficking victims can be American or foreign citizens. Some signs that someone you know is being trafficked might look like someone who all of a sudden has a lot of money, new clothes, jewelry, or other expensive items. A person could also have bruises, burns, tattoos, or other marks. They also might have sudden changes in their behavior. They might miss a lot of school or have someone that they report to. So what can you do? First of all, listen to your inner voice. Is something happening that makes you feel uncomfortable? Maybe your boundaries are being crossed. Our inner voice is that inner narrative we have with ourselves and that feeling we get when we sense that something is not quite right. You can say no or walk away. If you're in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable, get out of it. Have a go-to excuse to get out of situations you don't want to be in, like, hey, I gotta go, my mom's calling. Lastly, ask for help. Who are your trusted adults? If not at home, what about at school or in the community? We hope that all of you have at least one trusted adult here at school, whether it's your counselor or teacher, maybe a coach or academic advisor. And don't forget that you have your wellness center and school social workers here as well. So thank you for joining us and raising awareness. Here are some hotlines and resources that you can call. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the Helix Wellness Center.